Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're James with Games. Happy Sunday, folks. Hey, Cedric. Thank you for reminding me the full name of our protagonist here. I was like, it's a detective adjacent name. Marple, Nancy, yes, Nancy, and then Maple to remind us that we're playing a game about a Canadian. Cool. Yeah, so here we are. Had to take Saturday off. There are worse reasons to have to take a day off from streaming than I had stuff that was fun going on all day. But yeah, so no Suikoden 2 yesterday. And now here we are to play the Crimson Diamond in our second session. I'm not sure how long we're going to get to play here today because there's just a lot on the agenda. For anyone who's been following the ongoing background story here at 58 Dream Street for the past month of our faculty association was locked out by the board of directors while we were voting on their contract offer. Not like because things reached an impasse. Like they rushed the negotiations to get to the point where they were legally allowed to lock us out as quickly as they could and then locked us out in August. The idea being, I think, that they thought we didn't have much money in our strike fund and that they would starve us in the summer when it doesn't affect classes, and then they would have disciplined labor. Anyway, so the update is that they made a final offer, another offer last Monday that we accepted. It was substantially better than the one that they were trying to force us to accept. And that they claimed there's no room for any flexibility on any of this. Javuot, good morning. Yes, I'm excited to find, mysterious things have happened. Like there's an air of mystery in the Crimson Diamond, but we have yet to actually, what is someone getting murdered? Is something getting stolen? Are multiple people going to get murdered? I don't know. So I'm excited to find out what's next in Crimson Diamond. But anyway, yeah, they made us an offer. We accepted it. In many ways, we won some important victories, less than what we wanted, but more than what you would have expected at the start of all this, which I guess is kind of how it's going to go in negotiations generally. But the sourest pill to swallow is that they locked us out 2 weeks before classes started. So pretty much like the 2 weeks that almost everybody uses to prep their classes. And our back to work plan gave us 3 work days to get ready to rearrange courses to teach a reduced semester starting on Tuesday. And they, what did they do? They, the University Senate is meeting on Monday to decide the calendar. Like, is there going to be a break week in November? Is there going to be, what's going to be the last day of classes? What's going on? So we'll find that stuff out, I guess, Monday afternoon when we got to start teaching on Tuesday. So it's going to be a hectic time, and it was a hectic week last week. And so trying to enjoy this weekend as much as I can. Okay. Well, that's enough ado. Let's play the Crimson Diamond. It's going to be our second session of this game. For anyone not in the know, the Crimson Diamond... Oh, wait, did I do the volume thing? I did. Good for me. Look at me go. Seriously. This, it was remarkable how badly my plans to do more streaming, both on vacation and then if the strike or lockout happened, and it was a lockout, it was them doing it to us. I thought, well, at least I'll get more streaming in, and it was not the case. During the strike, that was largely a couple of things. All my picket line shifts were exactly in the middle of the day. So, not great for morning or afternoon streaming. And I can't. There were a variety of things with vacation. It's fine. It's fine. Uh, it sounds crazy. It sounded crazy this year when I said I know about last summer, but this summer. However, I really believe next summer is the year when it all comes together. Let's load this game. There is also a thing that I've noticed sometimes where some of my best bursts of not work productivity actually happen during work. I guess because I'm in productive mode anyway. So maybe October is when I'm finally going to like get the stream frames done, do the 30-minute retro review show, finish making chiptune theme songs for all the shows. I got to draw a sprite of our friend Sid because Sid is going to join us as our first non-redhead girl player too. Sid is neither a girl nor a redhead. And we asked him if he was open to dyeing his hair red. He's not. It's not even quite that because I can paralyze myself less so now with the treated ADHD, but in the non-treated ADHD years, it was so easy for me to not do the thing I was supposed to be doing and then feel so guilty that I was blowing it off that I didn't do anything else while I was blowing it off. Happy Sunday, Tashay. Now it's more like sometimes I'll just have a day. Like I go into the office and I, manage to get a new course material created before I have to start meeting with students. And then I'm really helpful to the students in the emails and I feel good about that. And everything goes really well. And I'm feeling prepared and locked in. And then I come home and then I just, keep it rolling. So maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. It didn't help that Hollow Knight came out either. But I think I'm truly into the final act of that game now. So that's been a journey in my non-televised gaming. Okay. I need a sticky substance to lift fingerprints. Yes. Okay. But why? Does the notebook remind me why? Yes, because there has been a theft from the... Is her name Nessa? Yes. Who I believe is the sister of the owner. All the relationships will come back to me here. We're at a lodge in Northern Ontario in the past. And I don't remember exactly what the date is. I'm actually going to... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Wikipedia for a moment. It's 1914, so the Great War is about to break out. We're Nancy Maple, a rookie geologist working for the Royal Canadian Museum. A diamond was supposedly found here in Crimson, Ontario. So that's the Crimson Diamond. It's not that they're finding red diamonds. It's a mining town. And she comes up here and she wants to prove herself as an aspiring geologist. And now we'll see what happens. Yeah. Nancy here loves to play amateur detective. And so I've got soot to dust for fingerprints. I filled a tin with it. I need a sticky substance. There is a thing of fly paper on the wall in the kitchen. However, we learned that, here we go. We learned that that's not going to work because there's a reason. It's all gross and filled with bugs. And the fellow, whose name escapes me, but it'll come back to us. They captured the Julia Minamata. Need to avoid saying they when we're talking about a game where one person did. Certainly, not everything. She didn't do the music, for example. But I ought to. Go look at it. She did the design, writing, art, animation, programming. Julia Minamata. Yes, early analysis here of the fingerprints. Yeah, so Julia Minamata did a really good job approximating the animation style and art style of EGA era Sierra. I don't think it's necessarily as beautiful as some of the finest work, but then again, a 1914 lodge in northern Ontario, in a northern Ontario mining town, should not be as appealing to look at as, say, a fantasy land based on the Arabian Nights, for instance. The animation's a little rougher, and then the sort of like the syncing, which I guess comes back to the programming, is a lot rougher. So we saw, love seat, fancy lamp, some decorative plates. Ah, I can't look at the decorative plates anymore because I have a plate in my inventory. What do I have in my inventory? Worth taking stock. We have samples. Metal reed duck call, which we've already used to solve one puzzle. Tricking our bird watching friend, whose name will come back to me. Raw cookie. Need to find something that can make a real impression to get Jack, the caretaker of the lodge's footprint out. Looks like this is my entire... No, it's not. Just for some reason, I was already at the bottom. So when I click down. So then we have parts of the mineral sample, small hammer, ice pick used as a chisel, garden trowel for digging for specimens, old newspaper, the Toronto Eye, drinking glass from the kitchen that we've been using to listen at doors, streak plate, mineralogist loop, mineralogist, used for looking at things, and the powder compact, which has the soot for dusting for fingerprints once we find something sticky to complete that task. It's not going to be Scotch tape. This is 1914. Any of these books sticky? No. The Art Nouveau poster is an advertisement for absinthe featuring an auburn-haired woman in a sheer robe. Okay. Well, so the thing is, Jack told us when we were down in the kitchen, you can't use that fly paper because it's all covered in flies. There's more out in the shed, but it's too blizzardy for us to go out. It immediately occurs to me, is the situation here literally just that I just have to ignore him and go out? My goodness, it's as dark as anything out there. I have no need to go out this way right now. Okay, not promising. Unless she just wants to go to a door that's closer to the shed. The shed, I believe, is on the right-hand side. I'm going to actually just... Do we get the same one for every door? Let's look in the mudroom. Look in Cubby's. Cubby's old boots, sure. Look at the boots. Which boots would you look at? Okay. Look at women's boots. Seems like at some point we might need to do footprint inspection. The women's boots are quite petite, with a small heel. They're made of black leather with rubber soles and appear well used and maintained. Yeah, that's the real question. Like, were any of these boots recently resoled? Just lazily with glue or tar or something. The men's boots are size 12, have rubber soles, rounded toe boxes. They're very worn. They're made of faded brown leather. I wonder if these are Mr. Richards' boots. Oh, wait. Keep confirming that I'm going to get the same message from every door. Because there's one door where Nancy's like, I could make a quick run to the shed from here. I'll be really annoyed that I didn't try. I saw on Wikipedia just now when I went to refresh my memory of the basic plot details that a criticism some had of this game was that the puzzle solutions can be too challenging. And so far, that has definitely not been a problem in the early going. But what if that's where I am right now? What if we have a whole fake mustache scheme to pull off to get some flypaper? What's the deal with this soap? Soap is bright green. Can I take the soap? What would everyone else use to wash their hands? Leave the soap alone. I thought, wait, look at wallpaper. Wallpaper is starting to peel. The peeling part is too high up for the answer here to be peel off some wallpaper and use the glue on the other side of it. Look around the bar. Close the door. Don't think there's anything going on here. Stately dining room. Look around. The dining room is an impressive sight. A massive Persian rug covers the floor, on top of which stands an elegant dining table and matching chairs. There's a buffet and a display cabinet set against the north wall. A pair of elaborate oriental jardinières are in opposing corners. A door to the west leads to the main floor hallway, etc. Oh. Well, I look forward to learning about that someday. As soon as I came in here, I was like, wait, the candles are lit, which is a terrible fire hazard. Although I suppose also literally every lamp in here being lit is a terrible fire hazard. What about the wax? That's not going to be my sticky thing, but that might be my get the thumbprint out of the cookie. Oh, she's getting all the wax. I suppose that way, if Jack or anyone is like, kind of suspicious, what are you going around collecting wax drippings for? She said, well, no, I was cleaning. It's being helpful. You scratch all of the candle wax drippings off the candlesticks and tablecloth with your fingernails. Well done. Let's throw a save down. And then press wax on cookie. That course of action yields no result. Get print with wax? No. No, you can't use get. Get is a pick something up verb. Okay. What if I look at my wax? These are the waxy drippings from the dining room candles. Put wax in cookie? Yes and no. This wax is still cold and hard. That won't suit my purposes. Warm wax on candle. That achieves little effect. I disagree. Heat the wax. Melt wax with candle. You need a container to hold the wax as you heat it. That's fair. Preferably something with a handle. I don't think it's going to be in this room. That'd be too easy. But you know what? Let's look in the cabinet. Open cabinet. Look in said cabinet. Nope. Whoops, close cabinet. Of course, another good candidate for having a thing with a handle that you could heat wax in is this place. Look in cupboards. You open the cupboard. Top cupboard has drinking glasses inside. You open the cupboard. Bottom cupboard has pots and pans inside. Can we take a pot? Pots and pans in the cupboard by the stove are too large and bulky to carry around with you. Yeah, let's be realistic here. Obviously, it's no big problem to carry some wax shavings, a cookie, your notebook, a map of the place you're in, a little brush, some specimens that you collected outside, a hammer, a nice pick, a trowel, an old newspaper, a drinking glass, a serving plate, and so on. But like this dress would need to have pockets if we were also going to have a pan. All of those pots and pans are covered with flies. We'll have to get a fresh one tomorrow. Look in drawers. Drawers are full of random bits and bobs one usually finds in kitchen drawers. Seems like it shouldn't be too hard to find an old-timey, like cheap metal coffee mug. Look in the cupboard here. You open the cupboard. There's a saucepan. I feel very confident it's too... Oh no. This saucepan will do quite nicely. You take the small saucepan. If I wanted to use this, I'll be doing it here in the kitchen. I like Jack's cooking too much to permanently deprive him of his saucepan. I mean, even if you used it in a different room and then brought it back. But okay. Put wax in saucepan. Putting the hardened candle wax directly into the saucepan wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe? But you certainly have now, and that's a good bit. Although part of the question here has to be, how strong and how tight are my belts? Jack would not be happy with me if I coated his saucepan with wax. And so... What? Look at the saucepan. Metal saucepan with a wooden handle. She doesn't want me to put the wax in it. It's obviously what I'm going to use to heat the wax. I don't think this makes sense. No, because coating it with paper would cause a fire. What am I going to coat a saucepan with? Holy smokes. Oh, wait. Whoops. Okay. She put the saucepan back. So I no longer have the little saucepan. But I know where it is now. But I need to figure out what to coat it with to heat wax up in this room. Okay. Do you happen to remember what game it was where the protagonist had 275 pounds of stuff in his pockets? Or her pockets? Okay. Well. I know I've heard of the Drifter. Oh, the ice box isn't going to have something to coat it with. Is there wax paper anywhere? Is wax paper seems silly too. Cool. That plus the metaphysical question of when you wait. No, you never actually carry the genie ring around with you. So the metaphysical question of like what are the contents of the ring weighing in their alternate dimensional pocket doesn't come into things. Okay. What am I doing here? I had gone over to Google like I was going to look something up, but I don't know what. So look in this cupboard. You open the bottom cupboard. Pots and pans. And in the top, plates, blue mug, plainer mugs. There's a thing about the blue mug. Let me remind myself what it is. It's empty, but it has gorgeous blue glaze. Chekhov's blue mug. Okay. So we're on the hunt for something sticky and for something that we could coat a saucepan with before putting wax in it to melt. This is a case where I really wish that Nancy would jump in with a quick comment on what kind of thing that might even be. The conservatory is a stunning showpiece of a room, but we've read this before. Kimi is our friend, the bird enthusiast, the bird watcher, the ornithologist. I don't know if she's actually professionally an ornithologist. Nathan is a local. Okay. I don't see how there's anything here that could coat anything. Excuse me, folks. I hope you don't think it's rude for me to stumble into the room and then stumble out. I guess one nice thing is that I can also be on the lookout here for, like, I'm on the hunt for both the coating thing and the sticky thing. This is Evan Richards' well-appointed study. Next to the ornately carved fireplace, there's a fine tapestry depicting a forest scene. There's a display cabinet beside the fireplace. A fancy desk with brass fittings sits on the plush carpet. You surmise this room was once used by Evan's father. It doesn't seem to be his taste. Evan's he's a rich guy, but he's down to earth. Look in this cabinet, unless it's locked. It's not. The glass pane cabinet is full of curios, memorabilia, old tarnished trophies, assortment of glass and ceramic vases. Can we take a vase? No. Close the cabinet. I need to run to the washroom. Okay. I'll try to remember if I know anything about what you would coat a pan with. Is it just like oil? Cooking spray? It's not going to be cooking spray. It's 1914. Well, I'll think about it, and we'll get back at this in a moment. Hang tight, gang. And we're back at it. Okay. No, I did not come up with what you would coat a thing with. Oh, yeah. Keep checking all the exterior doors, even though I do not think this is going to be the solution to the flypaper thing. That Nancy is just absolutely brave enough to go in the dark in one particular case. I guess if I find a flashlight, maybe she becomes willing. Although that seems eccentric since don't have any, like winter clothes. Okay. Let me. Ask Jack about flypaper. I keep tons of boxes of flypaper out in the shed. The black flies up here are murder. I don't know if it's just the stickiness of the flypaper or what. That stuff kills flies dead. Okay. So yeah, it's in the shed. But we can't go to the shed tonight. And I try to take this flypaper. So, what is the answer going to be? Probably not to just exit through the dining room. Flashlights, right. Flashlights in 1914. Right. I'm actually curious. I feel like they must have existed by then. Yes. One paragraph on Wikipedia says by 1907, several types of flashlights were available. Now, does that mean one will be easily available at a mining lodge in Northern Ontario in 1914, 7 years later? No, not necessarily. What else could it be? I don't know. Remind myself the layout here. I know Nancy and Kimi's room is guest bedroom 1. Let's look. Wait, is this the? Yeah. I don't know. I don't see why it would be anything would be in the linen closet, but it is like a storage type place. The upstairs closet is where Jack stores the bedding, towels, and cleaning implements. Some spare furniture is stored here too. See a huge wardrobe, green trunk and a blue trunk. Those are locked. And there's some mystery about the key to one of them. Cross that bridge later, I guess. Whoops, totally misspelled wardrobe. I doubled up the D's. Dusty, cobwebby old junk. There's a cane, a blanket, a lamp, some books. Look at the cane. Okay. Can I take the cane? No. I don't think I can take any of this, but hold on. The other things. Look at the blanket. I don't think we're going to be coating a saucepan with a blanket. Take it. No, you don't want it. It's moth-eaten. Well, you didn't mention that. Probably can't take the lantern. Or the lamp. The old lamp's probably broken. And probably a house for spiders. Better leave it where it is. And books. Nancy hates books. All these books have water damage, broken spines, and loose pages. Well, you can't judge a book by the cumulative environmental damage it's experienced, Nancy. Close it. Look at the paint. What if we just we put a fresh lacquer on the saucepan? Maybe the wax wouldn't get stuck to it. What is like if you heat the wax, you get it out of the saucepan? What does Nancy think is gonna like happen to the saucepan? stately bathroom, uh, we discovered in a very fun nod. Wait, that waste paper basket? No, it doesn't. It just has a gray interior. I was like, there's actually definitely something in here. Yeah, she's way more considerate than her inspiration, uh, Laura Bow. There's nothing in the waste paper basket. In a nod to the Colonel's bequest, if you just take a shower, and it makes you mechanically do all the steps. Like you have to undress, command, and then turn on the tap, and then pull the valve to get the shower going. But if you take a shower, uh, she gets psycho murdered, just like what happens to Laura Bow if you shower in that game. But if you notice, hey, they made me do all of the practical steps individually as typed things. If you notice that and put it into action by also locking the door, then you could. Nancy takes a safe shower, and during that shower, there's a moment where she's like, "Someone trying to get in the locked door." Oh, this is where we started. Okay. I thought about when I got to the bathroom before coming back from intermission. Okay, so Nancy does not care about the cold. She's exclusively concerned about the darkness outside. And there's friggin' external lamps. Look around. No, nothing special. Probably nothing special over here either. No. Doesn't really look so dark out, Nancy. But so goes. That's a door that auto closes. We're not giving you the option to leave that door open. It would just be crazy. Okay. Well, we have the guest bedrooms and the servants' quarters. Might just as well go in the mall. This is Nessa's room. Wardrobe, dresser, painted cupboard. Is this something could I just search this right in front of Nessa and maybe find something? You open the painted cupboard. It's currently empty. I wonder if Nessa's been too preoccupied to unpack. Or is she a ghost? So she doesn't actually have luggage. Yeah. No clothes in there. The dresser drawers are empty. So, I mean, that is a notable discovery that we just made. Okay. I'm going to try to Google search the practical question of what you would coat a saucepan with. I'm concerned that doing that might just get me a walkthrough for this game, but let me try. Okay. Okay. You know what? It might be as simple. I had thought to myself, like, it's like making hollandaise. Like, do we need a double boiler? And that does seem to be what Reddit suggests. They also mentioned that all wax has a flash point where it will spontaneously combust, so you should never just apply direct heat to wax. So hold on. I don't think it would make sense if it was the glass I'm already holding, but let's try. Yeah. Yes, you're going to use something with a handle. Okay. Let's do this all. Look in drawers. Look in the drawers. Okay. I don't remember which cupboard had the saucepan. Ah. If you use look in, you get the tandem action of opening and looking. Yeah. A spoon. A blue mug, maybe? I'm going to try to get this one entirely done in the kitchen. What's that? Is there something on the kitchen island, or is that part of the stove in the background? There's an L-shaped kitchen island. See a salt shaker. Okay. Salt shaker is large and made of silvery metal. Seems actually worse to take the salt shaker and like pour out all the salt. So this is probably not the answer. And yet, hey, where do you think you're going with that? If you want to use the salt, just use it here in the kitchen. I probably shouldn't walk off with the salt. Jack wouldn't be too happy about that. If Jack is this protective about the salt shaker, he wouldn't be pleased at all if I commandeered it for my improvised fingerprinting kit. There must be something else that's more suitable in the lodge, something that will dispense powder easily. They anticipated a lot of players trying first to use salt to look for fingerprints. I'm not entirely confident that would work, but I don't know. Let's see about Chekhov's blue mug. You open the bottom cupboard. Huge heavy pots and pans. You open the glass pane cabinet. A couple of decorative plates, pretty blue mugs, some plainer mugs. Take mug. You take the blue mug. Has a handle. Could it be? Put wax in mug. You put the hardened candle wax into the blue mug. Put mug in saucepan. You place the mug in the pan. Put saucepan on stove. Place the small saucepan on the hot stove top. The heat from the stove isn't quite enough to heat the wax in the mug in the saucepan. I'll have to add something else to this arrangement. What? Oh. Double boiler. Duh. Put water in saucepan. Great minds, Tashtari. You don't have a pan right now. What the fuck are you talking? Oh, god damn it. Can I just use the kettle water? Yes. Okay. And then maybe, give Jack a break. Maybe Nancy can make some like béarnaise sauce or something in the morning. Oh, sorry. Crunching ice chips directly into the microphone. That's obnoxious. Gradually, the stove heats the water in the pan, which melts the wax that you put in the mug. Yeah. Yeah, the next segment of the game is discovering all of the bodies. And we know Jack didn't do it, so what happened here? And it turns out it was those fucking birds. Congratulations, you've successfully made a double boiler. A note has been added to your notebook. Melted candle wax. Put wax in cookie? You carefully pour the hot liquid wax into the hollow thumbprint cookie. Wonderful. I just need to chill the wax so it sets up nice and hard. Oh, I know what's happening here. Put cookie in icebox. You put the wax-filled thumbprint cookie into the icebox. The whole thing is a prequel to the birds. You wait an appropriate amount of time for the cookie to chill. That should just about do it. Hopefully Jack doesn't think it's suspicious that I'm just standing here chilling the cookie with his thumbprint in it. You remove the chilled, wax-filled thumbprint cookie from the icebox. You close it. Brrr! Terrific! The wax is rock hard, and the raw cookie dough is hardened too. Now to get the wax out of the cookie. I appreciate how much of the puzzles so far are literally just like, do you understand how to accomplish this practical task? Could you have functioned as an adult in 1914? Now we just got to get the wax out. British, welcome. Happy Sunday. Still need to get back to you. And I'm thinking, British, that it's not this week coming when I need to, with very little prep time, launch courses for a weird condensed semester. But then after that, we'll be able to find a day or a time to talk. And also, I'll have at least 1 week of remembering what it's like being a teacher. Okay, I've got to get the wax out. Of the cookie. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's not as simple as just doing it. You don't have that right now. Well, that's not true. That is so next Wednesday we're going to do. Actually, I think we might have to take this week off. I can't remember, but at least once before October, when we do our Greg and James and Ghosts and Goblins tour, we're going to do like a cleanup day on the list where we maybe not start ranking them officially, but like look into some of the things like, you know, we ranked the first 40 games on a 3-tier system, and also we were only comparing them to each other. And so now we have the weird thing where like we have some Final Fight clones in the mid-boss tier, but Final Fight is on the mid-tier. Should that be changed? So like we got to revisit some games, do some fine-tuning, and then Greg and James and Ghosts and Goblins. So I don't know if we'll get the ranking list done before or after. There's also the question of then when we go back and do 19... Actually, no, if we have a ranked list through 1993, when we do all the 1994 games, it shouldn't be that hard to just squeeze them in. Okay. I need something. feels like this should be something that we get done. You open the cupboard. Top cupboard is plates. You open the cupboard. The cupboard under the drawer contains the pipe that drains the sink. Sure. Actually, seems like maybe at some point there'll be something in that pipe. Close the cupboards. Yeah, one of those classic, like the tier ranking things. I say classic, like that's not something that propped up in the last few years. Chess ranking algorithms. Maybe I should look into it because I mean, they're like that's part of the reason why we have the tiers in the first place is so that we at least know what we thought absolutely sucked and what we thought was great. But then I think there does just have to be a whole lot of, well, is this better than this? Is this better than this? Look in these cupboards. Notice none of these have specified utensils. Top cupboard is drinking glasses. Bottom cupboard is pots and pans. Loads of pots and pans. But I need like a spoon. And then these are the ones, I guess this is supposed to be the utensils when it's just like, there's a bunch of stuff, kitchen-y type stuff in here. Random bits and bobs that you usually find in kitchen drawers. I think that the thing you usually find in kitchen drawers is, hold on. Is it this silly? Probably not. Unable to help yourself, you carefully nibble away the chilled cookie dough from the hardened wax filling. Mmm, this would go really well with ice cream. She's an innovator. And would you look at that? A perfect wax impression of Jack's fingerprint. Congratulations, you've obtained a fingerprint. Type compare fingerprints to check which fingerprints you have yet to obtain. Hooray! Once again, yeah, obviously, an upper middle class girl in 1914 can eat a cookie without disturbing the wax inside of it. I still need these ones, which I could then compare. We can rule out Jack as a suspect, or perhaps less likely, prove him to be the villain. Okay. Cool. So, you know what? I just completely stopped playing Blueprints. Right around the time, I don't think I've played it since they locked us out of work, which was mid-August. I think what happened to me is that I got to a point where there was only one thing to focus on and it wasn't that exciting. Oh dear, I nearly left the saucepan on the hot stove. Before you leave the room, you empty the water, etc., return it to its cupboard. I knew I was forgetting that. It's just that I figured. Yeah, I'll play Blueprints again. I'm not done with it, especially because the immediate thing I know that I'm doing is pretty mechanical. It's not hard to remember. There's obviously there's other things I still need to solve. The fan articles in the mansion shop. I don't know what you mean by fan articles, British. Although I did, I have cleared out all the shops. Like I bought everything. Oh, and I mustn't forget my trusty blue mug. You retrieve the blue mug and place it in your pocket. Great. Okay. I had a feeling that all that would just happen automatically if I didn't do it. So I figured save myself some typing. Okay. But we still have the sticky problem. Ask Kimmy. I think I was already doing this and it's nothing. I'm sorry, Nancy. I don't know anything about that. The voices have not come together for me with this one. You would think I'd be in my element. They all just need to sound Canadian. But I've barely spent any time in Ontario in my life. You open it. Oh, damn it. I was hoping you would look in the drawer, Nancy. It's empty. You close it. No one's going to talk to me about stickiness. Oh, hey, an event. Hey, Nancy, want to play some billiards? Help me take my mind off things? Careful you don't scratch. Scratch what? The balls. If you scratch the cue ball, that's the white ball, it means you hit that one into one of the pockets. And I don't want to do that? Yes, you don't. I mean, no, you don't. Why don't you try hitting the ball with the cue? I'll give you some pointers. Okay. Maybe if I beat him at a pool, he'll give me some bubble gum or something. That's the spirit, Nancy. Come and hit a few balls with me. Especially because these characters are not like the easiest thing to do for me to get central Canadian here would be if these people were saying about more often. I'll just go a boot, right? Huh? Like all Canadians say every time they say the word about. Sometimes people come here and tell me, oh, you can tell you're Canadian because you say a boot. And I'm almost positive. Like it sounds to me like when I say the word about, I'm not saying I pronounce it correctly, but I'm like, it sounds to me like it rhymes with the word boat. A boat. Okay. Well, uh, break. You aren't a vandal. Shoot. Um, hit cue ball with cue. Unfortunately, that doesn't accomplish anything. Take shot? You can't use shot in this game. Play pool? Okay, so how about you get us started? He comes lumbering over. It's 1914 in Canada, so our host Evan here is 38 years old or something. It's sobering now. Me and Danielle were watching The Simpsons run through the golden age years a few months back, and I was like, I'm older than Homer Simpson. Sure. All right, so is the gag here that she's a prodigy? I mean, that's a good gag. That she's literally animated to draw the cue out of her skirt. Makes no sense. But it's great. That's good. Nope, just an accurate but feeble break. Okay. Oh, wow. You know what? How about you just practice a bit? I'll give you some pointers. Okay. Practice pool. Play pool. Okay. Press X to play pool. Try to follow through more. Ah, gotcha. Play pool. With follow through, I bet that just breaks it. Yeah. She gonna follow through to. Why doesn't Evan say, "What if you stop putting the cue in your skirt after every shot"? That's your follow through, Nancy. Don't grip the cue so tight. Okay, I'll try. I mean, try not to. Stop it, Nancy, no. I really think I'm getting better. Sure thing, Nancy. How about I rack the balls again? You can try it from the top. Gee, thanks, Mr. Richards. Friggin' ice chips. In this Starbucks cold brew that we got while grocery shopping. No bringing in the groceries intermission today. It's like a drug along for morning grocery shopping. This, I probably could have turned the game speed up here once it was clear. There's going to be a lot of slow animation, but okay. That's literally the exact same break, so points for consistency. And that's it. Talk to Evan. Ness is real upset about her missing ruby brooch. And someone's taken my parents' silver steins from the curio cabinet. And Margot's not feeling well. It's too much. Say, you want to play some billiards with me? Help me take my mind off things? No one's touched this stuff in ages. Jack still dusts everything, of course. Maybe this will suit my purposes. Eh? What'd you say? Oh, never mind. Just mumbling to myself. What is she saying would suit her purposes? I think she's talking about chalk or dust, but I've already solved the dust problem. And nothing was added to my notebook there. Possibility when I have to get Evan's fingerprints, I'll get them off a cue. Although I have not seen him touch a cue. Or maybe off the triangle. Can we keep this going? Yes, but probably I'm inclined to say to no real avail. But let's see what happens. Yeah. Well. Da-da-dun. Look at the card table. Square card table has a lovely maple inlay. Nice. It wouldn't do for me to walk around with a pool cue. You can tell by the loving detail of the animation that Julia Minamata was pleased with that gag. Probably, I would bet that almost anyone who tries to make a modern adventure game at some point has to wrestle with, like, what is my inventory joke going to be? It can't just all be dumb inventory jokes. But it also can't be no dumb inventory jokes. Okay, so we're not going to get the fly paper. Scotch tape doesn't exist. What else is there? What else is sticky? This is the bedroom you're sharing with Kimi. Yeah, glass panes are shattered. There's glass on the carpet. I believe I've got a glass shard, don't I? Or if I don't have it, uh, take glass. No. If I'm going to do anything with the shattered glass, it's going to be, you know, there on the floor. Look at my hat. Your trusty green hat hangs on the brass footboard of your bed. If I wore a hat and if my bed had a footboard, yep, that's where I'd keep my hat. That's one thing Nancy and I have in common. This is the master bedroom. Mr. Mershard shares it with Margot. Feel a little weird about invading their private space. Wardrobe and nightstands to the left and right of the bed. Doors to the south, etc. Margot is here. Oh, but she's sleeping. What's that on Margot's bedside table? There are nightstands on both sides of the bed. There's a roll of adhesive plaster on the right nightstand. I'm all set to ask people for their fingerprints, and to reveal fingerprints on smooth surfaces, and to lift those fingerprints with this sticky white tape. Maybe now I can get to the bottom of this. All right. Let's get to work. Start with the glass. You know, in the privacy and safety of your own room. Nobody watching, so you're not embarrassed if you screw it up. I had a feeling tape existed. I just felt like probably not Scotch tape, pressure sensitive tape. And indeed, transparent sticky tape, according to Wikipedia, was developed in 1930. Okay. Whoops. Dust glass. The powder slips off the smooth, clean surface of the drinking glass. Okay. Dust cabinet. Aha! Powdering the surface of the curio cabinet glass reveals a fingerprint. Well done. Take print with tape. You tear off a piece of tape and press it onto the powdered fingerprint. You carefully mark the back of this fingerprint as evidence taken from the curio cabinet, because our Nancy is a real thinker. It's only 1914, so we're like in fairly early detective fiction days. But she is up on it. She has read all three of Edgar Allan Poe's tales of ratiocination with C. Auguste Dupin. And I suppose, Sherlock Holmes also exists. It's more the kind of mystery that she's in, which is, I assume, more of an Agatha Christie flavor. Doesn't really exist yet. Okay. Compare prints. I bet the two aren't the same. Okay. So I am actually going to go around and ask everyone for fingerprints, just straightforwardly. Doesn't it seem like the person who's guilty might murder me or something? Freak out and murder me. Who knows? Well, let's start the creepy way. See if we can get the sleeping lady's fingerprint. We'll just make our way room by room. Take Margot's print. Margot is sleeping soundly. She's been feeling ill, needs all the rest she can get. Okay. Okay, you know what? You don't need to take a fingerprint directly from a person. We know that she drank this water, right? Look at the picture. The water glass and jug set on Margot's side table. Dust jug. Nope.
There's some markings here and there, but nothing identifiable.
Dust the table. You don't think that would do much good. Okay. Dust the vanity. I'll look in the drawers in a moment. You don't think that would do much good? You don't think that Margot ever touches the vanity? Or do you think that everybody else is coming here and touching the vanity? Look in the drawers. The vanity drawers are locked. Dust drawer handles. You don't think that would do much good? Why, though? You know what? I should just try. Dust water glass. I think it's just going to be this, like, I think it's just going to say, yeah, doesn't work. Oh, there you go. I thought because in the other place when I said dust glass to try to dust the shattered glass on the ground, it was like, you know, the dust just goes right off the smooth glass. And I thought it was just going to give the exact same message. But I guess I don't know exactly how that would work. I don't know enough about how adventure games are structured. Although I know a little bit at least from I know a lot about older adventure games like text-based ones from reading the Renga and Blue All the Adventures Project blog. But yeah. There's more than one object that can be referred to by glass, so it must use context, which makes sense. Obviously, you know, when I'm saying open drawers, it's opening the ones I'm closest to. Okay. Take the print with the tape.
Ah, here's Margot's fingerprint.
Seems likely that anyone whose print I'm actually asking for will be innocent, at least of this crime. So is Margot faking sick the better to steal a bunch of stuff? Yeah, someday I want to dig in more to learning like maybe even get some of the text adventure game software. Maybe not even to make my own, but just to fuck around with it to get a better sense of the underlying dynamics. Because that does seem to be like sometimes it's yeah, it's the context thing. Sometimes it does seem like there's global things, although those might be more commonly verbs than nouns. I don't know. Sometimes Jason Dyer, who does the Renga and Blue All the Adventures project, where he's playing every adventure game ever. So he's just made it to 1983 after like a decade. What am I trying to say? He sometimes he encounters a game where either through the frustrations of the gameplay or by literally looking at the source code, he discovers nope, there's no coherent world state to this. It's all like bespoke scripting. There's no objects. It's just hard coded to if you're in this place and you use this phrase, you get this result. Okay. Ask Corvus for print.
Mr. Shah, would you mind providing me with your fingerprint? It seems Nessa's brooch has gone missing, and the curio cabinet has been burgled.
Can't you see I'm busy? I can't have you soiling my fingers. I'm having enough trouble keeping my hands clean with this leaky pen as it is. Okay, could I see your pen for a second? What I know about that would probably go over your head. Okay, excuse me, sir. I'm just going to go through your waste paper basket because I can see that you've thrown something in it. Probably can't do this while he's right here. Oh, no, I can. Waste paper basket is full of ink splattered paper, most likely a result of Corvus's leaky pen. Okay. Can we take some? You find a particularly clean fingerprint specimen, neatly tear it out, take it with you. Aha! You've got Corvus's fingerprint. I'm enjoying this even as it's very on rails so far. Like there's very little that feels like it's letting you wander or like experience the story as it happens. But I mean, you're experiencing the story as it happens, but like as it's given to you. Which is to say, this game is inspired in a lot of obvious ways by the Colonel's Bequest, but not by the actual structure of the Colonel's Bequest. Ask Nessa for print.
Nessa, can I take your fingerprint? It might help me solve who burgled your jewelry box. I've read in a book that fingerprint patterns are unique to individuals. I just need to apply some soot. Oh, fine. Do what you need. I'll do anything to find the culprit.
You carefully brush some soot onto Nessa's finger, then press a square of adhesive plaster on top. Nessa makes a face while you do this. I bet it's a pinched expression, but says nothing. You obtained a lovely, clear impression of Nessa's fingerprint. Dust that box. Aha! The soot reveals a fingerprint on the side of the jewelry box. Take print with tape. Tear off a piece of tape. Press it onto the patterned fingerprint. I wonder if there was ever a point where, while working on this, where Julia Minamata, who obviously loves having the player type things out practically, regretted not having a supernatural setting so we can't do any rituals. You carefully mark the back of this fingerprint as evidence taken from Nessa's jewelry box. And that adds a note. Let's see where we're at. We have 3 people and the like specific crime fingerprints we need. So we need Evan, Jack. No, we have Jack. We have Nessa, Margot, Evan, and Jack. And we need Nathan, Albert, and Kimi because we have Corvus. Who the hell is Albert? Let's see if my notes will remind me who he is. Right. Wait. It's Albert Corvus. No. Wait, then who is Corvus? I'm a little confused all of a sudden. Okay, it's fine. It'll all come back to me. Yeah, okay. So that's Corvus. I mean, that's Albert. So Corvus, I don't remember who Corvus is as a practical matter. which is probably fine. But hold on. Just gonna go to Wikipedia. Do. Boom. Ding. Nessa's lawyer. Yes. Thank you, Tashtari. There. Now I remember all the characters and their relations. Ask Albert for print. There have been... All right. And so I was doing the wrong voice for the lawyer. That's it. There have been thefts. I'm not surprised. My field kit went missing too, if you'll recall. No one helped me with that matter, so I shan't concern myself with this. Yeah, of course not. If you'll excuse me then.
I suppose Albert hasn't touched this drinking glass yet.
Nope. Dust the trunk? No. Let's look in his waste paper basket. There's nothing in it. Damn, Albert. Wait, do I have something already that I obtained from him? No. Brought him a bunch of cookies. So he should help me. But he won't. Okay, fine. Excuse me while I go through your cupboards looking for a fingerprint. Dust his clothes. Let's do his shoes. It's not going to work. No. All right. Figure this part out in a minute. Perhaps it is as simple as bringing him another cookie, taking advantage of his gluttony. That's Nessa's room. And then nobody's using those other rooms. Let's go downstairs. Ask Evan for print.
Mr. Richards, may I have your fingerprint? I'm helping Nessa investigate her jewelry box theft.
Helping Nessa, eh? Look, I came down here to avoid that business. Isn't there enough going on around here as it is? Well, if you'll excuse me then. I'm just going to dust these balls. You don't have any balls to dust. Take a ball. Carefully.
Hey, no touching the balls unless they're in the pockets. Sorry, I don't know much about billiards.
Okay. Is there actually a puzzle now behind all of this? Do I have to get good enough at pool to get one in the pocket so that I can dust it surreptitiously? Let's try it.
That's the spirit, Nancy. Come and hit a few balls with me. Okay, so how about you get us started?
He racks them up for me. Where does the triangle go? I guess he's putting it in his pocket.
Sure.
Do do do. Do 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 do. Finally saw Wicked. Oh, wow. You know what? How about you just practice a bit? I'll give you some pointers. Okay. Play pool. Can I get a ball into a hole? Probably not. Try to follow through more.
Ah, gotcha.
Aim the cue. No. Well, I'll just run the sequence and see if it seems like there's a point where I got a friggin' ball in there.
Don't grip the cue so tight. Okay, I'll try. I mean, try not to.
Play pool with loose grip. No.
I really think I'm getting better.
Sure thing, Nancy. How about I rack the balls again? You can try it from the top.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Richards.
Oh man, it really feels like this might be a parser puzzle where I need to type something specific. Yeah. But like it won't accept follow through, it won't accept me adjusting my grip. Can I deliberately scratch? I guess he's shoving the triangle in the front of his overalls. Because like that animation could be more clear that he is like, he's not just touching the cue ball. He's like getting a 5-finger distinctly placed grip on it. And she's just shooting. So there's definitely nothing for me to say here. And it's the same break. Really does feel like we're in a loop here. I'm gonna try scratch and ball deliberately. Oh, there it is. Just fuck up. Jeez. Try and hit the cue ball straight on for now. Nothing fancy. Now, if she was deliberately scratching and she was able to do it with a rebound at an angle into the side pocket, shouldn't she just be better at pool?
Oh dear, I was trying to hit it straight on.
Yeah. No. Okay. He's going to rack them up, but let me get the cue ball out.
Oh, I'll get the cue ball.
Thanks, Nancy. That's good thinking, Nancy. Well, I scratched your ball. Now I'm going to dust it. You pick up the cue ball. Careful not to disturb its surface too much. Dust it. Ah! Powdering the cue ball reveals a fingerprint. Fingerprint is nice and clear. Fantastic work. Take print with tape. Tear off a piece of tape. Press it onto the patterned impression revealed in the cue ball.
Aha! This is a wonderful, clear example of Mr. Richards' fingerprint. I mean, maybe I'll do better this time?
Put ball on table. All right. Probably this will be nothing. Before returning the cue ball to the billiard table, you wipe the cue ball clean using a fold in your skirt. This girl thinks of everything. Now I'm going to see. Okay, how about you get us started? I'm curious if Nancy is good at pool now. Probably not.
Sure.
None of the characters have congratulated themselves for not being Americans yet. Oh, wow. You know what? How about you just practice a bit? I'll give you some pointers. Yeah, how about I'm done with this shit, but thank you. Launching my Kickstarter for an adventure game where we use procedural modeling.
That was fun, Mr. Richards. Thanks.
Sure thing, kid. The pockets of the real physics of the protagonist's pockets get more and more swelled and awkward. Makes it harder to go upstairs and stuff. It's part adventure game, part Death Stranding. Oh, we got two people in here. Hey, Kimi.
Kimi, someone's stolen a brooch from Nessa's jewelry box, and the curio cabinet in our room has been broken into. Could I get a fingerprint impression from you to help my investigation? I'm sorry, Nancy, but I don't want to get involved.
Kimi is only in her 30s. Really? I only played the original Zork when I was an ADHD adult junior high school kid, so my experience of Zork is mostly just getting eaten by a Gru. She doesn't want to get involved. Well, guess what, bitch? Oh, probably she doesn't want me dusting her mug right in front of her. Ha! I like that touch of like, no. Like, you're carrying a boulder or whatever. You know, you can't go through this narrow thing, but you can't carry the boulder. Can't dust the teapot. Is that because of a verb issue? Nope. It's just full of tea. They're not drinking tea. Ask Nathan for print.
Nessa's ruby brooch has gone missing, and a curio cabinet has been broken into. I'm investigating both of these incidents. Collecting fingerprints of everyone in the lodge would be very helpful.
There have been thefts? That's not right. I'm happy to provide my fingerprint if that helps.
Thanks so much, Nathan.
Nathan patiently waits while you brush the soot onto his finger, then press a square of adhesive plaster on top. Removing the square of adhesive plaster from Nathan's finger reveals a clear fingerprint.
Much appreciated.
Good luck. And a note has been added to the notebook. Okay. So am I going to dust Kimi's mug just right in front of her? Or am I going to go back to our room? Well, let's try dust mug, even though that just seems absurd. Well, that's a good idea. You don't currently have her mug. Take it?
Pardon me, Nancy. I'm still drinking this. It's still nice and hot.
Okay. Okay. Probably the answer is like get her print from somewhere in our room, which I will investigate. Well, before I do that, what if it is a silly adventure game bank shot? Can I get some ice from the ice box, slip it into her mug, and then graciously offer to refill it for her with hot tea? You open it. The ice block is rock solid and frosty. Chip off ice. Sorry, you can't do that. Take ice. Looks like she can chip off some ice. Using the ice pick, you chip a bit of ice off of the ice block. Okay, I think we're actually going. I think silly adventure game solution is the solution here. And that's not a criticism. I'm saying the word silly with a maximum possible affection. You patiently wait until Kimi sets her mug down. Ah, should have done this not at the very beginning of Kimi's mug animation. I don't want to just fill my Crimson Diamond stream with intense spoiler heavy discussions of late game Hollow Knight Silksong stuff. But oh man, I will just say in a very broad sense that I really like the way they have adapted the storytelling mechanics that they largely, borrowed from Dark Souls to a totally different kind of story. Because the original Hollow Knight is like a Dark Souls story, right? Like nondescript, generic, uh, hollow shell protagonist, who is there in a ruined place they don't really know what happened to, finding it out obliquely and like doing something about it, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Hollow Knight Silksong, like, I don't think it counts as a spoiler for Hollow Knight to say that the true ending is when you uncover, oh, there's an eldritch god behind all of this and we have to kill it. Whereas Silksong, it just like starts out by being like, there's an eldritch god that you're going to have to kill. Like there's no surprise there. And then you play through a narrative where you're a named character with a personality and in a place that is much less ruined, even though it's pretty ruined, than Hallownest or whatever the hell the place in Hollow Knight was. And so it winds up being much different. It kind of reminds me in some ways thematically of The Batman, the Robert Pattinson movie. And then I'll stop talking and let's continue playing this game that we're actually playing. While Kimi is distracted by her conversation with Nathan, you surreptitiously slip the ice chips into her mug. I don't want to get too stereotypical here, but I feel like I just feel like Nathan can't possibly be saying enough for Kimi to get that distracted, but whatever. Okay, I slipped it in. She takes a sip. It's cold. Oh dear, my tea's gotten cold. Well done. Okay. If I just say take mug, will it do the dialogue that you'd want? Let me freshen up your cup of tea, Kimi. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah, Kimi's in her 30s and I'm doing like a gentle older lady voice for her. It's 1914. Kimi's younger than me. You don't need to think about her too much. Aha! Pattering Kimi's mug reveals a fingerprint, and not necessarily where you'd expect. Well, I mean, actually, that's probably where you would wind up with a thumb if you were finger gripping the handle and then pressing your thumb on the mug body for some reason. Take print with tape. And then, to maintain the ruse, refill the mug. We don't want Kimi getting suspicious and then just smothering Nancy with a pillow in her sleep. You pour hot tea into Kimi's mug. Well done. Give mug to Kimmy. Put it down carefully. It's full of hot tea.
Here you go, Kimmy. Nice and hot again.
Thanks so much. Occasional random bits of Southern slipping in here.
Oh, what's this greasy black stuff on my fingers? Gotta go.
She conscientiously cleaned off the cue ball, but not the drinking mug. I don't have everybody's prints because Albert's a douchebag. Well, no surprise there. Okay. Let's start from where Albert is and see if I miss. Oh, wait. I should have got another cookie in case the trick is bribing him with another motherfucking cookie. How am I for time? Doing good. Really hurt to not get Suikoden 2 in. Not because I didn't enjoy my Saturday otherwise, but because there would be something to be said for playing more of that game that I really like instead of playing it once every 2 weeks right now. Oh. Take a baked cookie. Freshly baked thumbprint cookie. Oh, goodness. All right. Leaving all the doors open like I was raised in a barn. My Uncle Sandy would be horrified. Actually, you know what? Last time I was at Sandy's place, he seemed to have chilled out a bit on the gotta close every door all the time thing. But the time before that, I was at his house. He was very into every door should be closed. Which, especially for me, with a bathroom, it's like when there's company, like let's leave that door open a crack when no one's in there. That clearly communicates that the room is not occupied. Okay, I'm going to save so that I can start by give him the cookie and see if he just takes it. And then it triggers something. But if he just takes the cookie, then maybe I'll mess around with the parser some more by reloading instead of by getting a new cookie. Whoops. Who would I like to give the cookie to? I don't know. Give cookie to Albert.
Say, Mr. Respa, how'd you like this thumbprint cookie?
Albert's eyes light up.
Splendid. That's just what I need. Thank you, miss.
Takes the cookie. I feel like this is slightly different than the scene was, but I could be wrong. Albert thoroughly enjoys the cookie, licking his fingers, smacking his lips. Crunch, crunch, smack, gulp. Delicious. I could do with another if you find yourself downstairs again.
Sure thing.
Is he more amenable? There have been thefts. I'm not surprised. My field kit went missing too, etc. No one helped me with that matter. He shan't concern himself. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's try some parser trick here. I have a couple thoughts. First, let's try ask Albert for print while holding a cookie. He says the same things. He shan't. Okay. Offer a cookie for print. It's not going to indulge that with a response. Yeah. What we need is for this man to be like in diabetic shock. Look at him. He's looking through his books. Look at his books. Geology and mineralogy books look as good as new, but he's looking through them, which doesn't, unless he's really, really going for a ruse here. Look at the desk. Desk has small functional drawers. And a couple, okay, dust books. Wouldn't benefit. Dust drawer handles. Probably not going to work here. No. Open trunk. I bet it's locked.
What on earth are you doing? Get away from my luggage. Sorry, sir. I was just trying to surreptitiously dust for prints.
So next you're going to tell me he doesn't want me opening this drawer, or did I already discover this is locked? You open the drawer. Look in it. It's empty. I didn't steal his field kit myself. You open the drawer. I should have done look in. Filled with white shirts. Probably not going to get a print off those shirts. Okay. So he hasn't had a drink. Despite having all these cookies. If I get a... Okay. I don't know if this makes any sense, but we might as well try things when we have options. What if I give him a raw cookie? Will he be disgusted and run to the washroom to force himself to vomit? There aren't any more raw cookies on the tray.
The rest can get baked in the oven. I wouldn't want to take any of those.
Probably that's supposed to say I wouldn't want to take any of those. Okay. Ask Jack about field kit.
What's that? Medicine? Why do you need medicine? Are you ill? There's some tonics and things in the medicine cabinet in the pink bathroom.
Okay. But why would that matter for my purposes? Don't know. Let's look in the powder room, though. And like, if this dumbass just lost his field kit, this is not the pink room with the cabinet. If he just lost his field kit like an idiot, maybe I'm supposed to find it and get the print off of it. Hmm. It would be very silly. But what if we open this and there's the field kit? No. Of course not. Old red shirt. Search the shirt. Doesn't work. Close this locker. Open this one. Maybe I should ask Albert about his field kit. Maybe I get a clue. Damn it. I did it again. More old clothes. What if I didn't mess around with the friggin' parser enough? I did offer cookie. Okay. Good to know. So it's probably not what I'm about to try. You already have a baked cookie. Oh, great. I can think of a couple more things to try just with this cookie. One is try different words to offer the trade, although I do get the feeling that's not the answer. And the other one is kind of silly, but I'm going to try it. Hold on. Trade cookie for print. Can't use trade in this game. Okay. Eat the cookie in front of him. You eat the delicious thumbprint cookie. It's rich and buttery, and the raspberry jam is intensely colored and flavored, but not too sweet. Mmm, delicious. No, he doesn't care. Okay. Tell Albert about cookies. Obviously he knows about cookies, but you have nothing compelling to say about that. I have a very well-equipped field kit with which to perform my field work. And before you ask, no, you may not borrow a single part of it. You don't even know where it is, jerk. Do-do-do. Okay. Inspiration might have just struck. I might have just combined, boy, this is adventure gamey, with a few breadcrumbs. Let's see. I don't want to announce what it is, but maybe you'll guess what I'm trying or maybe it just won't work. Maybe the very first step will prove impossible. Or maybe you shake a generous helping of salt onto the thumbprint cookie. Why would you do that, though? Well, what if we have some jackass who doesn't want to cooperate with the investigation and won't even make it easy because he has not touched his drinking water, but he's also a glutton who will eat cookie after cookie after cookie without even seeming to pause to look at the cookie. Ah, these cookies are making me thirsty.
Say, Mr. Respa, how'd you like this thumbprint cookie?
His eyes light up. Splendid, etc., etc. It's adventure gamey, but in a fun way that makes sense. Albert eagerly takes the cookie, consumes the thumbprint cookie in 2 bites. That was saltier than I was expecting. What an odd recipe. That cookie's gotten me quite thirsty. Do me a favor and fill my drinking glass from that pitcher and hand it to me, miss. Nancy rolls her eyes, but does it because we're getting what we want out of this, even if, hey, jackass, I'm not your fucking maid. So you hand the full drinking glass to Albert. You stealthily wipe its surface of your fingerprints. Ah, thank you. Albert drinks the water in one gulp, hands the drinking glass back to you. Yep. Man, yeah, this guy, for all his pretensions, did you see how much water he was splashing around? He carefully received the glass, making sure not to touch the areas where he held it. Will she just autoplay this? No, she won't. Dust his glass. Boom. Adventure gamey, but everything was there and played fairly for me. And when I put all the pieces together, they made sense. So good.
Finally, I've obtained everyone's fingerprints plus fingerprints from the crime scenes.
It's time to compare fingerprints. Well, no, not just yet. I'm not sure that it matters. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I bet it doesn't matter. But this feels like something that Nancy should do in her bedroom with the door closed. These fingerprints don't match, like the fingerprints from the curio cabinet don't match any of the host guests, because none of the host guests have talons. What's going on? We're going in. Oh, I bet if I'd said compare fingerprints anywhere else, she would have been like, I should do this in my room. Great music. When is this getting optioned for like a CBC miniseries? You eagerly take a seat at the low coffee table and spread out all your fingerprint samples. After comparing the complete set of fingerprints, you're able to conclude... Amazing! The fingerprints from the jewelry box and the curio cabinet match the fingerprint you obtained from Margot. Ah! Margot was the culprit behind both crimes. Well, I mean, that's what some of the circumstantial evidence suggests. I should confront her with my findings. Huh. That wasn't field work, but it was pretty satisfying. Margot, I know you stole Nessa's ruby brooch and the silver steins. Holy shit, Nancy. I know that Nessa is a little difficult, but this isn't the way to deal with her. Please let me help you set things right. She'll take everything. Yes, I smashed the curio, though it broke my heart to do it. But the silver wedding steins are even more precious. I saved them and gave them to someone I trust for safekeeping. Nessa would sell them as soon as she was back in the city. At the very least, she will take her share and sell one of the steins, splitting the set. She doesn't understand why it shouldn't happen. She is vile and heartless. Why should I want to set things right? When I needed things set right, no one helped me. That woman deserves everything bad that comes to her and more. You may be right about that, but you deserve to be better. But you deserve better than to be a thief. That isn't who you are. How do you know that, Nancy? One of the only things you know about Margot is that she's a thief. Margot, the brooch at least? Will you let me give back her brooch? Ah, fine. The brooch is hers after all. It's in my walk-in closet. I will tell you where it is. Why must the world be as it is? Pourquoi, Nancy? Only one Emo Phillips joke has ever stuck in my mind from any Emo Phillips I've ever seen, and it was this. This is an impression of a French existentialist seagull. Pourquoi? Oh no. Is she just dying suddenly? The plot thickens. Nancy, gonna react to this? She's having a seizure, Nancy. Oh, there's the react. Margot, are you okay? Margot? You hurry downstairs to tell Mr. Richards about Margot's sudden decline. Mr. Richards, come quick. There's something wrong with Margot. What? He's coming as quick as he can. Ooh. Someone's outside. We know it's not Margot. Or Evan. Or Nancy. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. I don't know if that's just what it tells you at the end of every investigatory segment, or if there are like ways to do better or worse and I'm just great. Probably it's the first, but I'm going to pretend it's the second. Another excellent investigation. By the time you and Mr. Richards arrive in the master bedroom, Margot's body is already cooling. The commotion soon brings Nathan and Jack to the room. Nathan's eyes widen, but he doesn't say anything. It's laconic. Jack looks shocked and a bit remorseful. Nancy, no. You can't go down the road of looking at a person's facial expression and deriving complex conclusions about their internal state and then like leaping to conclusions. Nancy, like I would not want Nancy on a jury if I was ever falsely accused of a crime. The three men gently carry Margot down to the root cellar and lay her out on a long wooden table. It's shocking to see Margot lying dead on the table. The kindness and warmth that once lit up her face are gone forever. Nathan and Jack stand there, staring down at the earthen floor. No one seems to know what to do. What can be done, after all? After a long while, Mr. Richards exhales heavily and speaks. Go do what you need to do. Then head out to the station, notify the authorities. Not like there's any rush now, is there? Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Evan. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as she was caught trying to slip the judge's gavel off the podium to get some fingerprints off it. Is Jack going to say something to Nancy? Yeah. Okay, sort of. Excuse us, miss. Mr. Richards slumps on the stool, his head bowed. He doesn't look at Margot. It's almost like he can't.
Oh, Mr. Richards. What's going on here?
Type review to review your investigative goals. Chapter 4, Tensions. I'm still not back in control. There we go. Oh, it does auto-save at the start, so I'll just leave that. Let's look around. This is the lodge's root cellar. It's a few degrees cooler than the rest of the house, making it ideal for storing a wide variety of supplies with which to provision the lodge. For a second, I was expecting making it ideal for storing Margot's corpse. There's a set of stairs in the east wall leading upwards. The shelves contain an array of root vegetables, as well as jarred and bottled goods. There's sacks full of apples and potatoes.
My goodness, Jack has done such a wonderful job with his little vegetable patch.
Margot is here. Evan is here. Look at Margot. Da-da-dun. Margot's we get the generic description of when she was alive, followed by Margot's body has been temporarily laid to rest on a long wooden table.
Oh, Margot.
We get the same thing with him. Evan's lost in his thoughts. His shoulders droop and his head hangs down. Can we comfort him?
I'm so sorry, Mr. Richards.
Thanks, Nancy. Feel like I should leave him alone. Let's do a review.
I wonder if Margot was poisoned, how it could have happened? Something she ate? Drank? I should examine Margot's body. Maybe I can find something that will be useful.
Okay. Can we just do it? Examine Margot. You want to have a look? I'm going to go have a drink. Ooh, those old bones are feeling it now. Yoga hadn't really caught on in northern Ontario in the early 20th century, so a lot of older guys with lumbar problems. You determinedly decide to take a closer look at Margot's body. Type exit or click the exit button to stop your examination. You pull away the sheet covering Margot. Your desire to understand what happened outweighs your squeamishness. I suppose it helps that it's a non-violent death. Despite Margot's panicked final moments, she now appears peaceful, which is great luck. She didn't die with a horrifying expression on her face. Okay. Look at Margot. She's clad in her fluffy blue robe, 2 handy pockets on the front, cinched with a matching sash. Her golden hair is in uncharacteristic disarray, and her fair complexion is veering towards pallid. Her arms lie limply at her sides. Let's look in her pockets. You find a small silver key in one of Margot's pockets. Should I take it? Yes. You take the key from Margot's pocket. Put it in your own.
I wonder what this opens.
Feel like probably they should have done an alternate Nancy expression for when she gets an idea, but also it's a very somber situation. But okay. Examine Margot's face. Margot has lovely facial proportions. She was truly a beauty. Examine Margot's mouth. A closer inspection of Margot's lips revealed no additional information. But having drawn closer to her mouth to get a closer look, you do detect an unusual odor emanating from it. Okay. Hold on a sec. Unusual odor. Okay. Can we smell the odor for more details? You detect a distinctly garlicky smell around Margot's mouth.
That's strange. I don't remember seeing Margot eat any garlic. Come to think of it, Jack hasn't cooked us any meals using garlic.
Okay. Are we going to do a full investigation here? Undo robe. Open robe.
I'm hoping to learn more about what happened to Margot, but I don't think it would be appropriate to do that. I'm confident I can make some astute observations while still preserving her dignity.
You know, maybe closely smelling her corpse breath is a bit weird. Examine Margot's hands. Do they smell like garlic? Intense scrutiny of Margot's skin reveals no bruises or abrasions, but you do find some rough, scaly areas on her hands and feet, and darkened areas and red, patchy lesions on her lower legs.
I wonder if these skin problems have something to do with her aches and pains.
Examine red patches. Examine legs. Nothing new. Okay. You're surprised to find that Margot's impeccably coiffed hair is hiding some thinning areas and a few bald patches. Yeah, well, you know, some of us have to constantly think about strategically moving our thinning hair around to create illusions. Or to not create illusions. To totally fail to create any illusion. So her hair was falling out, possibly because she was being poisoned slowly on an ongoing basis. Okay, no, we're not that serious.
Besides, what would I do if I couldn't close them again?
That's fair. Examine her nose. Upon closer inspection, Margot's nose appears enviably poreless. Good for her. Feel like we've probably examined her ears.
You admire the majestic arch of the helix, the delicate, shell-like folds of the concha, the graceful dip,
of the intertragal notch.
Very nice.
Okay. I think we're probably good for now, maybe? You carefully replace the sheet covering Margot. Yeah, what's Nancy's thing with ears here? There was nothing like that when we looked at like her nose. Look at the garlic. 3 braids of garlic hang on the shelves. Examine the garlic closely. Nope. Take some garlic. While there are plenty of uses for the garlic, both culinary or otherwise, you won't be needing it. Okay. Let's look around again. Jarred and bottled goods and root vegetables. Margot is here. Oh my. Look at jars. Take a jar. You don't anticipate being at the lodge long enough to start pickling and preserving. No, I meant take a jar that has preserves in it. Look at the potatoes. Potatoes hold a special significance for you. Your grandparents emigrated to Canada from Ireland because of the Great Famine. I remember, this is not like a general trait of the Canadian education system, but I particularly in the public schools just got a lot of real serious education about like racism and, the associated political oppression that springs out of it. That all started just because when I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade, kid used a racial slur that he'd heard at home to refer to a friend of mine. And they leapt into action and they made sure to give us a thorough civil rights and slavery education over the course of grades 4 through 6. Anyway, I remember my 6th grade teacher literally saying to us, when I was young, we were taught that Canada never had a problem with racism. Not like America, that we're better than that. And then she showed us pictures of historical pictures of pubs in Halifax with signs that said things like no dogs, no blacks, no Irish. To be like, so you can see that even without getting into the whole fact that Indigenous First Nations peoples also exist, and Canada can't really claim a whole lot to be proud of there. Obviously there was in fact discrimination and segregation and all that stuff in Canada. Maybe it wasn't as bad or whatever, but it was there. And I remember going home that day and mentioning it to my mother and her just being like, oh yeah, we never had that in Canada. Not that she, like, my mom is not like committed to retaining like the things she was taught when she was young that are wrong. She's much woker now. But at the time I was like, oh, I see through this.
According to Evan, Jack and Nathan will eventually be going to the train station. I wonder if I can catch them and ask them a few questions before they head out.
Before they head out.
Before they head out.
Maybe I can. Are they in the mud room? I'm going to catch them just in time. Are they slugging back a few stiff drinks? Actually, if I'm going to find anyone in the bar, I would think Evan right now, because he literally said, I'm going to have a drink. Damn it, Nancy. Suppose I should also just be walking past all the doors to see if there's anything to listen in on. They are not in the mudroom getting ready to leave. Which might mean that they're even more getting ready to go. All of a sudden, it's not so scary to go out in the dark at night. Now that there's been a murder.
I can hear Jack and Nathan talking, but the sound of the river is making it hard to hear them. I wonder what they're up to.
And why are they talking like this? I don't see how listening with the glass would help.
Can't just toss these in the river like we used to, more's the pity. If Mr. Richards hadn't hurt his back trying to take all this on himself.
I wish he'd asked for help before it came to that. With all the extra scrutiny lately, he can use all the help he can get.
Lucky for us, it was mostly overcast last night. No moonlight, no sparkles.
Lucky for us.
I think that's all for now. Good thing there were no big ones tonight.
Agreed. Meet you in the carriage house.
Yeah, I'll dump these in the smokehouse as usual. See you soon.
Okay. So they're taking diamonds, maybe? From the river? This is an interesting mystery. Definitely one thing this game clearly has on the Colonel's Bequest is just a more intriguing mystery.
Hey, Jack. What were you guys up to? Me and Nate were just getting some fresh air. Really? I was getting samples from the riverbank this afternoon, and it looked a lot like that.
As in what you were doing. That's a weird thing to say. Weird way to say it.
I found some interesting stuff. Oh, yeah? Can I see? Of course.
You show the samples you collected from the river to Jack. He scrutinizes them very closely.
What do you think? You got yourself some white garnets for sure. Some pretty nice ones, too. White garnets? Are you sure? Definitely. But if you want a second opinion, I can take them to show Nathan. Ask him for you. How about it? That's okay. I'll keep them for now. Suit yourself. Darn it. I missed talking to Nathan. I ought to find him and question him before he leaves.
So does that mean that this counted as I questioned Jack? I believe so. But I gotta find Nathan again. He's in the carriage house.
You have a good night, Miss Maple. Thanks, Jack. You too.
I think I probably should have asked some questions there. That would have been better detective work. Well, Jack headed off that way. Is it because that's where the carriage house is? I can't remember. I would think the carriage house is this way. I think actually, look should clarify. North takes me back to the lodge, south to the boathouse. Okay. Does west go to the carriage house? I'm pretty sure the carriage house is drawn facing the same way as the Colonel's Bequest one. And the fact there's a driveway leading to it is suggestive. Hey, here he is. Shut the door.
Here's Nate.
Appears the carriage house was once used as a stable. Stall's empty. Sold hay bales, etc. Nathan's here. Look at Nathan. I was just hoping to get a description of what he's doing. Tall, imposing man, early 40s. Isn't very talkative, impatient, maybe even anxious there. He's inspecting and adjusting the headlamp on the automobile. Well, that's not suspicious. That just makes sense.
Good evening, Nathan.
Ah, I thought maybe you were Evan. Sometimes he likes to walk the grounds when he's troubled. I wonder where he is now. Ask Jack about Margot. So she's pretty murdered, huh? Whoops. Ask Nathan about Margot. Margot's death is shocking. She was a kind woman. It's a sad state of affairs. I've known Evan a long time. I've never seen him like this. He needs to grieve. Jack's driving down to the train station to send a telegram over to Margot. This is ranger business. I think this is Mountie business, to be honest. Okay. Ask Nathan about garlic. Hey, can take or leave garlic. Depends on how it's cooked. Jack should be along shortly. He may be in the bedroom he's sharing with Corvus, getting ready. He's driving to the train station to send a telegram about Margot's death. I'm just getting the automobile ready for him. You worried about Evan? I have never seen him like this. Please look out for him. Okay. Ask him about my samples. When you mention you've been collecting rock specimens from around the lodge, Nathan's eyes widen. May I see what you found? Of course. You show Nathan the sample you obtained from the cliff. You collected this from the cliffs to the southwest, right? I did. This is igneous rock from the Precambrian era. Those cliffs compose part of the Canadian Shield, one of the oldest formations on Earth. It's astonishing to think that it's 2.5 to 4.2 billion years old. Geology is a hobby of mine. You show Nathan the sample you obtained from the boulder. This sample was located from that big boulder just north of the carriage house? You're absolutely right. It's granite. It's not from this area. The geology doesn't match. It's a glacial erratic. Do you know what that is? I do. It means that a glacier deposited here after it melted away. It's amazing to imagine how far that boulder traveled, and over what an incredible length of time. Indeed. These are lovely white garnets, Nancy. I'm a bit of a collector myself. Can I buy those from you? I prefer to keep them if it's all the same to you. Of course. Great. So let's be real. We all think it was Albert, right? He keeps to himself. I think I saw her walking around just north of here. She had no love for Margot, but even still, she's being pretty insensitive. Evan is her brother after all, and he's just suffered a terrible loss. Ask Nathan about... Margot. Margot's death is shocking. She was a kind woman. It's a sad state of affairs. Etc. Oh yeah, I already did that. Okay. What else might I ask Nathan about right now? Hold on. Going back to my notebook. I do have found Nathan again checked off. So maybe I've done enough. Ask him with the automobile. Evan gave me his father's automobile when it started needing constant maintenance. It had become a hassle for him to call on me to fix it at the lodge, so he said I could have it. It worked out for both of us. I got to own an automobile, which is a rarity up here, and Evan made room in his carriage house for a new one. So what's up with the riverbank? I don't know anything about that, Miss Maple. Okay. I'll update my save here and leave. Can I say goodbye? No. Tell Nathan goodbye. Goodbye. You have nothing compelling to say about that. All right. Don't waste words. You open the carriage house door. Boom! Jack comes bursting in. Oh, Nancy. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Excuse me. I'm going to look for Evan. I can tell he's upset, but you know how he is. Always going off on his own, yeah. Maybe try the jetty? Thanks. I'll check there. I have a few other places in mind first. My meeting with Albert in the boathouse begins shortly. I will look for Evan after that. Got some spying to do. Good luck. I always want to carefully qualify anything I say about my own voice acting so that I'm neither being delusional nor falsely modest. I'm a spirited amateur. I I don't know. I feel like I get like I can do the ingenue vibe for Nancy. Although once again, I think I could do a better girl voice if I was a little more prepped. Uh Certainly when I do Jamie streams, I don't just come in raw. I do like a proper vocal warm up. But yeah, except for Jack and Nancy and I guess Albert, I'm just kind of flailing. I know what I'm trying to do with Nathan's voice, but I'm not achieving it. Pardon me, Miss Mabel. I'm expected elsewhere. Okay. Oh, he's being responsible. He's getting the lamp. So obviously we want to spy on his meeting in the boathouse. Starting to get a little low on time, which is fine because we have a good night, Nancy.
Good night, Nathan. I wonder where Nathan's off to.
Do you really wonder, Nancy? He fucking said it. Close the door. So that the next time we go in the carriage house, we don't just get a Sierra death scene of raccoons mauling Nancy. Nope. Eavesdropper! Exclamation point. If it's not going to give me the characters to say Eavesdropper Extraordinaire. Oh. There's Nessa wandering the grounds just like we were told. Perhaps I'll follow her. Okay. Another classic Colonel's Bequest experience.
Ah, Nessa and Corvus seem to be having an intense conversation. If I can get closer, maybe I'll be able to hear what they're saying.
Is this as simple as saying listen and Nancy will just do the hiding for me? You're too far away to hear the conversation. Okay. Just hide behind this tree. Yep. You conceal yourself and hide behind an ideally situated apple tree. I won't be needing this anymore. Nessa takes a silver flask from her pocket, pours it out onto the grass. Doo-dee-doo. What's that?
Water adulterated with poison. I soaked flypaper in a glass jar and poured the liquid into my silver flask.
And then just a pinch of garlic in there.
Toss the jars over the waterfall. Easy as pie. I didn't think it would be quite so effective. I was thinking it would be more gradual, less dramatic. The tart couldn't even die properly. But no matter.
Okay, well, solve this mystery. It could look suspicious and be investigated.
What does it matter? There aren't any rangers around or any other form of law in this god-forsaken place.
But we don't want any more complications.
This will all be over soon, but we'll need to be bold.
I'm ready for the next step.
Good.
Obviously, what we have here is odd because, to prove a murder, you want means, motive, opportunity. What we have instead of any of those things is just concrete confirmation that she is the murderer.
What a strange conversation. Nessa mentioned tossing some jars into the river by the waterfall. I should go to the waterfall and take a look.
Hell yes, you should, Nancy. Write that down in your notebook really quick. Nancy is a lot more practical of a note taker than Laura. Although Laura has a much better organized notebook. Because look at Nancy's notebook. It's just a goddamn mess. Like there's no dedicated pages. She just starts from the start and just does a dashed or dotted line every time she needs to open up a new thing. And whereas Laura has each page neatly labeled, but it's like, she's like, who have I befriended this weekend? And did I find any religious articles? Have I stolen anything valuable from this family while I'm here? Okay, well, that's two things taking us in the direction of the water.
Ah, Mr. Richards, there you are. Mr. Richards?
Evan doesn't acknowledge your presence. He looks lost in thought, or maybe highly inebriated. Possibly both. I would say almost certainly both.
Well done. Mr. Richards, what are you doing there?
He ignores me, continues drinking. Listen in. Nothing. Look at Evan. He's quietly, morosely drunk, sitting precariously at the edge of the jetty. I really wish he wouldn't. What's that jar? Look at bottle. Look at decanter. Evan is pouring whiskey out of the crystal decanter into a glass. He's doing that pretty frequently.
That looks like crystal decanter from the living room.
Uh-oh.
That's pretty strong stuff.
Well, this is sad shit. All right. Let the man drink and then either be pushed or fall into the river.
I hear a rumbling in the distance. Is that thunder? Ah, it sounds like an automobile heading towards the carriage house. Is Jack back from the train station? Maybe I should head over there and see what's going on. Or I could head to the lodge and see what's going on there.
Or you could go past the boathouse and hope that you haven't missed your opportunity to hear that conversation. And you could look at the river for the... Oh my, there's a lot going on. Here's the old boathouse. I don't know if this transparency is evidence that there's no one in there. I think probably not. No voices. Okay. I'm going to update the one that's called Eavesdropper. Go back to the one called Interrogator for a moment. And find out if going directly wish I'd updated the interrogator save after, but I'll do that now. Boom, boom. Escape to skip cutscene. Open the door. They say their goodbyes. This is not a cutscene we can skip. Oh, it is. Just sometimes it doesn't tell you that. That's actually good to know. Some of these animations with the slow sequencing can be a little tedious to watch again and again. I don't mind watching them the first time. My brain can fill in the gaps. I can imagine what it would look like if it was flawlessly executed in the SCI engine in the late 80s. Okay, wow. So he is there if I go back. Do I then have to hide in here somewhere, or? Hide. Hide in canoe. Oh, perfect. Unless this is a comical death scene where Nancy breaks her neck. She's not going to break her neck. She's being very careful. Mr. Cardinal, are you here? I'm a busy man. I won't be kept waiting. I'm here. Have you prepared the document? Of course. Signed and sealed, very official. A report declaring there are no diamonds in Crimson or the surrounding areas. Good. Do you even care to know if there are really diamonds here? No. I care about protecting this land from further environmental devastation. Ha! Well, it's no concern of mine. A pity about the girl. What a shocking turn of events. I suppose that simplifies matters whenever Mr. Richards should happen to pass. What are you insinuating? Nothing. It's none of my business, I'm sure. I've already paid you. Give me what I'm owed. Of course. Here you are. The fact that I could have missed this suggests to me that maybe it is actually rating your quality and actually I'm doing excellent. It's telling me that. I want to believe that. If this document is challenged by anyone for any reason, you'll be hearing from me. Goodbye. Does this rob me of my chance to hear Nessa literally say she's the murderer, though? That'd be interesting. If it's just impossible for Nancy to achieve perfect knowledge? We'll find out pretty quickly. Running out of time for the day. I was about to say, I should have Nancy be like wiping her own prints off of everything just to be sure that nobody figures out she was in different places. And then I remembered an old EC comic of the mystery variety rather than the horror variety, where the guy commits this murder, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of details about how he's planned out his alibi and all this different stuff. But he commits a murder, and then the entire story is basically like a one-hander of the guy. Like he's just like, just gotta brush the fingerprints off the weapon and and then he's like, but wait, I touched the doors. I did, and he keeps thinking of things, and he's just like going around like wiping everything off. And the punchline kicker at the end of the story is that the cops just show up, and he's caught for the murder because he's at the scene. He didn't flee the scene. He's just wiping stuff off. And as they lead him away in handcuffs, he's like, hold on 1 second. And he triumphantly wipes his fingerprints off the outside door. And he's like, finally. Okay, good. This way, we have a better chance of being congratulated by the text parser for being so clever. It seems like pretty likely we've got different factions here with their own agendas. and that there's a common thread connecting them, which is, are there diamonds here? Who's going to own this place? Oh, didn't even have to get somewhere and type listen. If you went right to the right spot, it just starts. We're going to skip the cutscene since we just watched it a moment ago. Next step, find Evan and then go to the waterfall. Hopefully we can still find Evan. He hasn't been murdered because we took so much time doing other things. Yeah, such an odd way for Nancy to characterize the conversation. To not even comment on the basically open statement of, I'm the one who poisoned that bitch.
Ah, Mr. Richards, there you are, Mr. Richards.
Well, we found him. We know he's drunk. Confirm my knowledge of what liquor it is. Yeah, don't go off the edge, Nancy. Can I dust the decanter? Yes, I can. Shoo! I ain't have to.
Excuse me. This isn't a good time to dust for fingerprints. And also, I better not fall into the river and drown. I hear a rumbling thunder. No, it's Jack back.
Lots of things that we could check out. But let's start by going to the waterfall. There's a sound that I think is supposed to be cricket sound that absolutely sounds like some kind of phone notification every time I hear it. All right, how bad is Nessa at disposing of evidence? The waterfall seems to originate from deep in the mountain. The water looks fresh and very chilly, even in the heat of summer. Wait, is it summer? That would explain why we're not having coldness problems. Okay, great. Examine waterfall? No. Look in water. Search waterfall. No. I mean, if she put them in this river, they would presumably flow down the river. So let me just walk the length of the river and see if there's a visual cue anywhere. I guess we might even get immediate confirmation. Nope. Whether things are going to go real bad for Evan real quick. Ha! Okay, so this is the waterfall that...
Ooh, I'd better be careful and not stray too close to the raging river.
Look at riverbed.
Riverbanks are prime locations for mineralogical samples.
Yes, obviously. Okay. Look in water? Look generally. Yep. Something caught amongst some rocks.
I think it looks like a glass jar.
That's definitely what it looks like. It's a glass jar. You can just barely make out a flash of yellow inside the jar. Let's find out. I suspect that this is just a death scene. You can't reach the jar from where you are.
I need to find a safe way to get closer.
Okay. I don't believe I've got anything yet that will help me get closer safely. But what if I had the cane? Or anything. Reachy. They probably don't have grabber hands. Do, 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 do. Do I catch Jack by going to the roadhouse? And to what end do I need to do that? I don't know.
I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about.
Listen with that glass, Nancy. Although I would listen at the double doors since people are way more likely to come out the single door in a non-car exit situation.
They can't know why you're really here. Who knows what could happen?
Of course. I understand the potential risk involved. I will be discreet with my investigation.
I will just say you were in the area. That's how you got here so soon.
Hey, have fun in real life, Juffuet. Thanks for stopping by.
We'll just say you were here in the area. That's how you got here so soon. Not that you were already on your way.
Understood. The young lady.
Margot.
Yes, Margot.
Is there any reason to believe her death was suspicious? She's always been a bit sickly. Don't bother yourself with that. Just make like you're looking into her death. That'll be a good cover. But focus on what you're really here for.
Okay, Jack. Conversation seems to be over. Let's get the fuck out of here. Hold on a second. Gotta learn something about my own country's history. Oh, yes. No, we don't need a Mountie. The Mounties were not established until 1920. So, probably the fellow, the ranger that Jack has brought back will instantly become a Mountie when the RCMP is founded. Okay. We've almost certainly got more eavesdropping to do. Let's walk near all the doors. Or maybe we don't. Who knows? There is only one way to find out. It involves walking close to every door. There's old Nathan. I don't know.
Good evening, Nathan.
Good evening, Nancy. Jack poked his head in here to tell me he's back, and that the automobile managed to stay in one piece for his journey. He also said that a ranger's come to the lodge, and this ranger wants to have a meeting in the dining room. Perhaps you should head there.
Okay, thanks.
And we will. Once we just see if there's anyone to spy on upstairs. Nancy loves gossip. And I guess I'll look at my notebook one more time, just in case I've already forgotten some little detail it suggested I do. Oh, I remember one thing that I suggested I do, which is to go, I believe, into this storage room and see if I can take the cane now that I need a reachie. Or it might be a safety thing. Get a rope to tie around your waist and tie to a tree. Nope. Oh, damn it, Nancy. No. No, that's okay. I can see how I did that to myself. Hey, that exposes a broom. There's a straw broom tucked in a corner. Do we need it? That's Jack's job. Sure. Fair. Close the wardrobe. All right. Gotta start wrapping up soon. But at the same time, I don't want to. So we're getting to the excitement. Things are heating up. This is a good game. I like this. Dun, dun, dun. Guest bedroom 3 is Nessa's room, which I don't think I'm concerned with right now. Or is it that I am concerned with it for the sake of, maybe Nessa has left something I could find. Look at the desk. Look at the books. Look as good as new. So is this guy a fake mineralogist? It seems like this scheme would probably benefit from actually getting a real mineralogist to be a fraud. Here's the room Jack and Corvus are staying in. Neither of them are... Oh, no, Corvus is here. Look. Do-do-do-do-do. Yep, and Corvus is here. Well, maybe we'll talk to Corvus. Hey, Corvus. Maybe I can catch him off guard. Just ask him about a silver flask, and he'll be like, what, you mean the poison flask? I mean... Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Hello, Corvus.
Ah, Miss Maple, please. Isn't it past your bedtime? I have a lot of work still to do tonight. Please go away. Sure thing, jerk. Can't wait to bust you for your involvement in conspiracy to commit murder. What have we here? You haven't fooled me with your timid act. I'm on to you. If you dare follow me once I'm done here, you won't make it to your next destination. Consider yourself warned. Oh, yeah. I think we should probably find out if that's a real threat. First, did he just go back to his room? That'll be a pretty flat ending here. I should have looked at exactly how the notebook interpreted it. Oh, he locked his door. That's thoughtful. Found Nathan again. Found Nathan again. Go to the dining room. Albert confronted Kimi about something. Okay, so perhaps I'm not following him. But should I? Maybe he went outside somewhere. I ought to try. Just walk around a bit. See if Albert jumps out and kills me. All right. He's still working on that decanter, but he's still alive. So, not bad on the whole. Not a terrible situation. I feel like we definitely saw rope somewhere. Was it in the shed? Or the carriage house? I might as well. Now that I'm outside, trying to see if I can get Albert to murder me, I might as well also just look places. Then I'll do the dining room meeting, and we'll consider that the big set piece to conclude this week's adventure on. This was not where the rope was. The shed is on the east side, or the right side of the mansion. Don't necessarily know that up and north are correlated, though they usually are. for ease's sake in video games. The official Hades 2 release. Really, I really wouldn't have minded if they'd pushed the date on that a few weeks. This has been a big year for me playing games that came out this year. Don't always do enough of that. And even this game only came out last year. Take the rope. She'll do it. Okay. We're staying on track with the, at least we seem to be staying on track with the very practical solutions. Not like there's a little bit of adventure game goofiness, getting like Kimi and Evan and Albert's fingerprints. But even those were very sense-makey on the whole. Somebody also, yeah, somebody hid something in the smokehouse, did they not? An array of smoked meat and fish are hanging to dry and cure. A work table with a deeply scratched work surface is against one wall. See a big bag of salt, a barrel, large pot. Okay, hold on. Did she take any specific notes? Reach into the salt and just... There's a top layer of salt and the rest is all diamonds. Yeah, they're collecting something sparkling on the riverbank and hiding it in the smokehouse. Look closer at that salt. Bag of salt has been opened, revealing the coarse rock salt inside. Search the salt. Dig in the salt. Okay. Hold on. We have a barrel and a pot. Look in the pot. Pot's empty. Look in the barrel. Fortunately, that doesn't accomplish anything. Are you sure? Open barrel. You certainly can't pry it open with your bare hands. And there's no real reason for me to open it. Examine salt? The rock salt would benefit from a look under your loupe. Taking a little handful wouldn't hurt. There's plenty here. Okay. Take some salt. Scoop up a handful of rock salt. Examine it. As expected, the rock salt is composed of irregularly shaped crystals that are generally, I know it says but I think it reads better, that are generally cubic in shape. They are whitish to colorless. Some of the crystals appear irregularly shaped, more octahedral than cubic, but salt is fairly brittle and is water soluble, so they can be just about any shape. Okay. Look at the meat. Meat and fish look delectable. Examine the fish. Are there things hidden inside the fish? Look in fish. No. Move salt bag. Can't do that. Look at the floor. See tiny glittery specks on the floor of the smokehouse. Examine specks? Little specks could be salt. Their proximity to the bag of rock salt increases the plausibility of this observation. Okay. Well, I don't know. What if the things he's hiding are actually hidden in the wood pile? Look at the wood. You're not sure what type of wood this is. But you assume it's good wood for smoking. Probably can't search the wood. No. Okay. Well. So which tree? Maybe Nancy can just decide for me. Although maybe not making the decision myself. Is going to mean she picked a dead tree that uproots.
I'm not walking around with this rope tied around me.
No, but go get the jar, Nancy. Carefully. Oh, okay. I can read the graphic more clearly now thanks to that animation. The gradation of the slope and the ledge. You take the glass jar. I was picturing that as like a steady slope that you could just walk down to the rocks. Whoops. Smashed my elbow on the table, made everything shake. Great. What note have I added? Probably just gut jar. Retrieve glass jar. Excellent. Untie the rope. Will she do the full untying sequence for me? Untie the rope from around your waist. Take the rope. You never know when we might need to. Nope. In your enthusiasm to secure the rope to the tree, you created a series of utterly undoable knots.
That's okay. The rope has done its part.
Like Marie Kondo, Nancy knows when to say, this object has played its role in my life and I thank it and I'm letting it go. Very mindful. Oh. Examine jar. Closer inspection reveals a white powder residue at the bottom of the jar, a strip of damp flypaper inside the jar, and a small oily spot on the outside of the jar. Dust that jar. You brush some soot onto the surface of the jam jar. Distinct fingerprint. Take print with tape. Take print from jar. You're already carrying the jam jar that has a fingerprint on it. There's no need to lift it from the jam jar for safekeeping. I question that, but okay, whatever. If the game's telling me that. It surely can't later say, you should have nagged the parser, idiot. Why didn't you type the same thing 4 times until the parser gave up and let you lift that print? So perhaps I'll slip back to my room. Oh, wait, if I go back to my room, Kimmy's there right now. Oh, let's go to the dining room meeting.
Wow, almost everyone's in the dining room already. Hopefully after this meeting, I'll have a chance to tell the ranger about my investigation into Margot's murder.
Ah, Nancy, there you are. We're about to get started.
Where's Mr. Richards?
Don't you worry, miss. Mr. Richards needs time to be alone with his thoughts. He'll probably be here in a bit.
And where's
Never you mind, Nancy. This here's Ranger Murdoch. He was put out on patrol by the train station, lucky for us. I told him about poor Margot. He said he wouldn't mind stopping by, filing a report.
A report? Whatever for? She had a fit and died. Bury her and be done with her. It gives me the creeps having a dead body around.
I'm sure nothing's amiss, but how could I turn down Jack's hospitality? I'll take a look, file a report of the death, and save old Doc Travers a trip up here.
What about the bridge explosion? Do you have any news about that?
Bridge explosion? News doesn't travel very fast in these parts. I'm out in the bush most of the time. Of course, I was so distracted by Margot's death, I completely forgot to mention the bridge to Ranger Murdoch. Anyway, I sent a telegraph to the closest town. I'm sure the appropriate authorities are handling it. I'm sure. Bears and raccoons are more my jurisdiction. Not much happens out this way. Tomorrow morning, I'll take a look at Miss Margot and be on my way. Sounds good. My, it's late. You must be bushed. I'll get you set up in the spare room upstairs. Are we done here? I'm dreadfully tired. I am tired as well. Nessa and Corvus leave the table, after exchanging what seems to be a series of impatient looks. Kimi follows soon after, seemingly unwilling to appear rude by leaving first. By the time Jack shows the ranger to the spare room, we realize a lot of time has passed, and Mr. Richards still hasn't turned up. I should check up on Mr. Richards. Note, the text parser's shortcut to refer to Ranger Murdoch is RR. Well, thank you, Julia. But I'll just be typing out Ranger Murdoch every time. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. Oh no! Where's Mr. Richards? Chapter 5. Escalations. You are shocked to see such disarray. I don't like the look of this. Game is autosaved. But even so. Perfect spot to stop. Okay. Things are heating up. Looks like we do probably have our second murder, although it could also be our first accidental death. Or maybe we're over-interpreting the Nessa conversation. There's 2 accidental deaths. There wasn't actually any poisoning. But I'd bet against that. Who knows? All right. This is a cool game. I'm digging it, and I hope you are too. Great. All right. So, pardon me, where do we go from here? Well, in addition to the fluctuation... Hey, Panda World! You are very welcome. In addition to the fluctuation... of Greg and James content to temporarily stop playing beat 'em ups and play Ghosts and Goblins, which we're planning for October. There's other fluctuations coming up. I think I was not responsible enough to make this decision, but Greg made it for me, which was when I have to launch a course on Wednesday after launching a course on Tuesday. And I have bad class times that might force us to change the Wednesday slot, or we might keep it. We're not sure. But Greg said, you know what? We got to take this week off for you. And he's right. So he's looking out for me. So we're not going to do Greg and James beat 'em up this week. Most likely. Almost certainly not. Then we're going to talk about maybe doing a different night during this term where I teach till 5:30 on Wednesday. When by our clock, we usually start at 6:45. Might be a little tight, but I don't know. Another thought is that maybe get my energy up teaching and then come home and just do the show. Just dive in. We're going to kick that around and figure out what to do with that. I don't know. Then, come Friday, we got to take another shot at this sunless trench scenario. It was a heartbreaker because we made a really bad first round move in our last week. And we were scrambling to recover. We came up with a plan to try to blitz the scenario because it's not a defeat all enemies scenario. It's a collect 5 goal items scenario. And we made a plan to maybe try to just get them all really quick. And it almost worked. Quite literally, our attempt at the scenario ended with Greg in the last round picking up the last object, fulfilling the goal, but you have to make it to the end of the round to bank the victory. And then Greg got killed. So we're going to start the Sunless Trench scenario over with some foreknowledge. We're not going to make that stupid choice, and we're hopefully going to beat it handily on our second try. Cool. Next Saturday, we should be back in business for Suikoden 2. And then before you know it, it'll be Sunday. We'll play some more Crimson Diamond. I haven't done any Jamie stream in a while because Jamie was a labor activist over the past month. All my drag time has been on the picket lines. But I want to do more soon. And I got to figure out where that's going to fit in. But I think it's time for some Jamie solo to get back to Leisure Suit Larry. So maybe I'll do the thing where I'll alternate what Sunday adventure game I'm playing based on whether there's time for me to get into full drag. We'll see. We'll figure something out. But at any rate, onwards and upwards, we're digging this game. We're digging Suikoden, even if we only get to play it fortnightly so far. Excited for Ghosts and Goblins. Also excited to be progressing in the beat 'em up project. Frosthaven's always fun. Lots to look forward to. And you know what? For all it's going to be horrifically stressful and deliberately sabotaged by the institution itself this semester, boy, I do sure love teaching more than I love trudging back and forth for 2 hours a day. So there are going to be positive things about being back in the classroom. And I'm going to try to focus on those and not the shitty parts of it that I can't control. Onwards and upwards, baby. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, then you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when hopefully we just go to the next screen and find Evan there, just washed up on the rocks. But probably not. Take care of yourselves. And be kind to everyone you meet.